builds high-end planning and scheduling software for railroads, airlines, trucking, and mining companies. Their solutions develop schedules that make transportation networks run more efficiently, increasing the profitability for their clients by tens to hundreds of millions annually. Optum is a company that has just been growing by leaps and bounds, and I had the opportunity of seeing this presentation in advance, and I'm going to tell you I was blown away by it. Ravi is the founder, and he is an academician turned entrepreneur. He joined the faculty of the Department of Industrial and Systems Engineering at the University of Florida in 1998, where he is still a part-time professor. Before becoming a Gator, he was a professor at the Sloan School of Management at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and did cutting-edge research on transportation algorithms. In an academic career that has spawned more than 30 years, he has authored 3 books and over 100 research papers and won numerous awards for his research. I was also reminded earlier, Ravi did a presentation for Gain when the company was just a baby in 2006. And so for those of you who were around during that presentation, now you get to see what advancements they've made since that time. So please join me in welcoming Ravi.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to come here. I am coming here after 8 years and did not expect to be here at that time, but here we are. It's a part of our journey. I would like to give you, somehow the sound quality is not that, sound good? Yeah. Okay. I'm not used to hearing my own sound. I'm hearing it for the first time, yeah. So I would like to give an overview of our company through a video. So let me play the video first. It's about 3 minutes.
Life, the ultimate example of efficiency. The heart pumps blood throughout the body, carrying oxygen exactly where it needs to go, in exactly the right amount, at exactly the right time. The roots of a plant pull nutrients from the soil, sending them up the stem and to the leaves, exactly where they need to go, in exactly the right amount, at exactly the right time. Nothing is wasted, not time, not materials, not energy. They're all used in perfect measure. Now, what if everything ran just as efficiently? That's where we come in. Since 2000, Optum has provided advanced analytical solutions to the railway, trucking, airline, and mining companies that move goods and people. Using optimization, simulation, and data analysis, our products help them improve the efficiency of their operations, increase their asset utilization, and reduce their operating costs. What does that mean for you? Your flight arrives as scheduled, and you make your business meeting. Construction supplies are delivered on time so your home can be built. And that popular toy your child wants is in stock, ready for you to pick up on your way home from work. It's all very convenient. But now, we're thinking bigger. Much bigger. Because efficiency can do more than make things convenient. It can transform our lives completely. With an increasing global population and the trend toward city living, efficiency will be critical in the years to come. Imagine a city in which emergency services are perfectly planned, where road and rail systems are designed with advanced algorithms for routes that save time and resources. Imagine the services you have now, only optimized, better, always getting exactly where they need to go, in exactly the right amount, at exactly the right time. This is our vision. Because efficiency isn't only about quicker commutes or store shelves filled with goods. It's about improving everything that makes people thrive, from basic needs to life's little luxuries. It's about ensuring the best quality of life for everyone in a growing world. Through optimization, we create efficiency. By creating efficiency, we transform the world. We transform life. Optum. Live efficiently.
Thank you. So, as we say that we optimize transportation, and transportation worldwide is a very big market. If you look at the cost that gets incurred in transportation throughout the world in various mode of transportation, including railroads, airlines, trucking, package delivery, shipping, this total market is close to $5 trillion and it has been growing. We did some analysis and we discovered that the transportation cost each year are growing at the rate of 2 to 4% per year. And if you look at the total cost that will get incurred in the next 20 years or so, you will find that the cost will be almost doubling. About 5 trillion costs would be incurred every year. This would require that we need double the infrastructure, we need double the railroads, we need double the highway capacity, we need the double airline capacity, and that capacity does not exist. If you have to double the rail lines, it will just not be possible because the land may not be available. As you know that the highways are getting congested and there may not be enough cost available, enough budget available in order to expand the capacity of the highway. So since you don't have enough capacity available and cost of expansion very high, they would, every company is trying to see the ways that how we can use the existing capacities most efficiently. And if you take any company, airline, railroad, trucking company, you will realize there is tremendous amount of waste in the network. They're not using their assets most efficiently. If a railroad has assigned 2 locomotives to pull a train, the train can pull up to 100 rail cars, but there are only 50 cars moving. If there is a truck moving, going from point A to point B, it is only 50% full. There are 2 trucking companies moving trucks at the same time, which is 50% full, but if they pull the resources together, they'll be running only 1 truck, which is going to be full. So if you look at the assets which are used by all these transportation companies, there's a tremendous opportunities for improvement. That is where we come in. We are trying to figure it out that how we can schedule their assets better, how we can move their assets better so that we create efficiencies. Efficiencies of the order of 5 to 10% are very possible globally, and 5 to 10% of a number which is $5 trillion is a huge number. So that is where our company is trying to focus on. Okay. About foundations of the company, I was given a brief introduction, so I would not spend much time on it. I'm an academician turned entrepreneur. I was at MIT for many years before moving to University of Florida, and I did research with several of my students. After coming here, I got introduced to railroad companies in Jacksonville. I did research for about 5 years with my doctoral students. In 2004, several of my students were graduating. They didn't want to leave me, I didn't want to leave them. So I said, why don't you join over and we'll start the company. So I hired them and the company started, and we rented some space in GTech, and Bill and Doug are representing GTech. And we rented 2 rooms. In one room was my office, in second room we had 6 cubicles where my students sat. And I did not realize what I'm getting into because I had no industry experience. A person with no experience start the company, then, well, you will encounter certain things we didn't expect. Didn't know anything about sales, nothing about marketing. I did not know the difference between sales and marketing. I did not know how the industries think. So we have been learning the tricks of the trade. So the first 5 years has been our growing period. Just like a plant, once you plant in the ground, it takes some time to grow the roots. So about 5 years time period, we have been growing our roots. And after 5 years, we started flourishing rapidly because we learned the tricks of the trade. To give an idea how we started, that in 2000, when I joined in, I started the company as a consulting company with the name as Innovative Scheduling, and did research with the student until 2004, and when we hired the first employee. And we started working with railroads, CSX Transportation, BNSF Railway, Norfolk Southern, they were our major clients, whatever we did, started commercializing it. We did not go to angel investors or venture capitalists, and because we didn't want to share the equity, we didn't want them to dictate the terms. We said we'll do it by ourselves through bootstrapping. So gradually we started growing. We stayed in the vicinity of 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 employees. until 2009 and 2010. After that, we started growing rapidly. In 2009, we started working with the trucking companies where we saw a big growth of opportunity. And a few years later, we went into airline and mining companies. And we have realized that the kind of problems you encounter are very similar. If you understand scheduling in one area, it is very easy to transport that to other areas as well. To reduce the cost of development, we started our office in Armenia in 2008. And last year, we started an office in India, in Bangalore, just so that we can offer services to our client more affordably and be able to get more business from them. Earlier this year, we went through a rebranding process. Actually, my colleagues in marketing, last year started the marketing department. We didn't have anyone. And we still don't have any salesperson, so I'm still the salesperson. So I'm not very good at it, but still, in the absence of anything better, I'm doing the job. So our marketing team said that the name Innovative Scheduling is too hard to remember, and clients make mistake in remembering our name. The name does not stick in your mind. So we need a simpler and shorter name. So they came with the name Optim. Optim has been derived from the word optimization, which we do. We take the first 5 letters of optimization and change I to Y. That's how our name came from. So this graphs gives you a little bit of about how our growth has happened. We remained in the vicinity of about 20 employees until 2010. But after that, we have been growing almost 50% every year, and we expect the same growth to continue in the coming years or so. We have about a total of 140 employees right now, of which 70 employees are in US branch, about 35-40 in Armenia, and about 35-40 in India. A total about 140 employees. Our team members are academically very qualified. We have 40 plus PhDs, 70 plus masters, and then 30 remaining. Our background is split between computer science and operations research and transportation. So that gives you a split about our team members. The company is very international. We have 20 plus nationalities in our team. And when people visit us, they tell me, do you have a United Nations here? And when we are hiring, we look at the nationalities as well. And I give a little bit of a brownie points for a new nationality. We have been in GTech for almost 11 years. So when we went into GTech, I was told that we expect you to graduate in 5 years. But we took a very long time to graduate. We will be completing 11 years in December. But it was high time for us to graduate. So we bought a big building in Gainesville on Tower Road, opposite Home Depot. It's basically 3-building complex. ABC will be building out building B and C, about 20,000 square feet. And we'll be leaving out one building for future development, which can have another 100 people. So this building will give us about 200 very high quality space for 200 people to work. We are building it in a very collaborative manner. People will be able to work together, a lot of huddle spaces, cubicles, as well as breakout rooms. We will have a large auditorium, which can house about 100 people. So building in a very, it's a very high-end building we're building. Expect to be one of the best commercial buildings in Gainesville. So I thought very briefly I will give you an idea about the kind of work we do. I will give you one example in different areas. We are doing a fair amount of work in the area of airline. We have a big project with Southwest Airlines. It's about designing their airline schedules that they run around 4,000 flights per day. And the challenge they are facing is that how to schedule 4,000 flights a day, that what time the flight should be departing and arriving for across the network. So they're flying at a right time. When the need is higher, they run the plane at that time. But you cannot do it at every city because the same plane will be going over multiple cities. So considering the entire network impact of it, considering 4,000 flights, how to fly, what is the right seating capacity I should have at each time so that I'm able to maximize the revenue and increase my profitability. So build a scheduling application for them, and it's one of the visuals you are seeing over here. And we are showing them that we can increase their and our profitability we almost a couple of $100 million. So huge benefit are coming because of better scheduling. And these companies have such a large revenue base that even as 1% increase in the revenue can have a major impact on their profitability. We are doing a project in Australia where it's a company which carries about $20 billion of iron ore from mines to port. They have a congestion on their rail network, and we are developing their train scheduling system which can carry one extra train per day. Each train they carry generates $2 million additional revenue for that. So over a year, it generates around close to $2 to $3 million additional revenue for them. So over a year, it translates additional revenue about $1 billion for them. So these are very high impact things we do, very complex, but requires very sophisticated research and development, but the impacts are huge. Also doing a project in the area of truck line scheduling. We are developing a software product in that space that is for trucking companies. The revenue is hundreds of millions to several $1 billion. How to create their truck schedule. A company runs somewhere between 1,000 to 10,000 truck schedules per day. That how to create a schedule, how to execute them so they are able to move more freight with less trucks, less drivers, and improve the service to their client. So that gives an idea about the kind of projects we are doing at this time. This is a list of some of the clients. Our clients include some of the largest airlines, railroad, and the mining company in the world. And we expect this list to grow with time. So our vision is that all these companies like airlines, trucking companies, railroad companies, they need systems to plan. Like Southwest Airlines creates schedules. They plan the schedule that I'm going to run these many flights per day, and that is what the flight arrival time, flight departure time, which plane type, how the planes are going to connect with each other. They create plans. So we need good systems, the planning systems to create such plans. Then they need systems to execute those plans. They are executing plans and disruption happens. There's a snowstorm and you cannot execute the plan. So how to make changes to the plan so that we can still move the planes and move the passengers and move the crew in the right way. Suppose there is a delay, suppose there is a mechanical failure and a plane got delayed by an hour. So how to make adjustments to the schedule so that I can still recover to the schedule. So you need good planning systems, you need good execution system, you also need good analysis system which we can analyze the operation and then show you where the opportunities for improvement are, where we are doing good, we are not doing good, do the root cause analysis, data mining, etc. So we are building applications in both the planning, execution, and analysis spaces. So we are actually sharing development across multiple mode of transportation. We work in different modes, do R&D in one space, we are able to transport into the other space. We develop algorithms for airline, use for railroad, algorithms for mining, bring to railroad. We also do some common R&D which works across all mode of transportation. We are able to do it because of the similarities in different scheduling problems we find and these similarities between different mode of transportation. So people ask me that what is our business model? You are a projects company, you are a product company. We say that we are a company which are building products by doing projects. Typically business model for a company building a product would be that they would take funding. Building a product in the space you work requires huge amount of money. It could require somewhere between $3-4 million to $15-20 million. So building a product is extremely expensive, and typically a company would take some venture capital in order to do so, but that in the part of doing so, they lose ownership of the company or the product. Our business model is that we take very high-end projects. Our projects typically cost somewhere between maybe a couple of millions to $10-15 million. So we take those projects, but through those projects, we always keep the intellectual property of it. We never give away IP. So we undertake those projects. Through those projects, we generate a very significant intellectual property. We also generate a profit stream. Then we use that IP and that profit stream in order to build the products. So we are building products in the area of airline, railroads, trucking, mining, as well as visibility. So we have certain things which are under, some things have already happened. We are licensing it. There are certain products which are currently being developed, which we plan to license it. but the need in this area is huge. If you look at the need, there is a huge amount of unmet need. If you look at the companies which are offering such product, that is almost non-existent. So there is a huge market we see, untapped market, and our company wants to be a major vendor in that particular space. So I would like to share with you some of the lessons I have learned as an entrepreneur. The first lessons I learned is my migration from an academic world to an industry world. So when I'm in the academic world, I was actually a theoretician, and I used to prove theorems. I have proved maybe over 1,000 theorems in my life. And some things I really cared about, not only me, but academicians care about, but we found that they are not relevant from an industry perspective. I have listed some items here. In academic, they say that, do you really have the best solution? Have you really solved this problem to optimality? But in real world, they just don't care. Okay? They say that currently I am running operation this way. Can you run it differently and show me some money? Can you make things better? Whether it's optimal or non-optimal, I don't care. Whether I can use the recommendations and create some benefit for my operations. So what they care about is only the implementability, whether I can really use it. In academic world, we are building mathematical models, and we just assume that you will have the right data will show up, but this is not the case. When you're working with actual problems, then getting the right data in the right format of the right quality becomes a major challenge. So how to prepare data for modeling, it's one of the big items, something we never teach our students, that you have to work with data. We are just teaching models, but not the data. We are always saying that whether we can prove a nice theorem out of it, but again, in the academic world, theorems are important, industry world, they are not. What really users care about is whether I can see things through nice, intuitive, graphical interfaces. Is the application very friendly to use? How can I get to the answer with minimum number of clicks? That's what they care. My interface is very intuitive. If I click a button, I wait for 1 second or I wait for 5 seconds. These are the things they really care about in the industry world, but academic world cares about other things. So it took me few years in order to change my mindset, change my priorities. That these are things we really cared about, but these things really people don't care. People care about this. So it took us about 5 years, to figure it out. Okay, then when we figured it out, then we started developing right kind of model, right kind of interfaces, so that we could sell them. Now, as an entrepreneur, what is the most important thing? I know that many people have started companies, very successful companies. Some people would like to start companies. What actually is most important thing? The most important thing when you are starting a company is that what to build, which is of significant value, which people are willing to pay for. That is the most important thing. That the key idea, what is the market need, what is the business need, which I want to solve, and which people will be willing to pay for, and I would be able to build it in a manner so that it will be a significant return of investment for me. And also when somebody is buying it, they also have to create a value for them so that there is sufficient return of investment for them as well. So when you are building something, good ROI for you and good ROI for the person who is going to buy it, and that is the most important thing, and this is the key idea. And I think that is where the visionaries come in, that what to build. For example, earlier we had this DOS application where you work using command prompt, and then someone came with the idea that we need a nice graphical interfaces. We need a mouse. These are the key ideas which actually are most important for creating a business, what to build. And once you have built it, once you have thought of an idea, then you need the packaging of the idea, that how to package the idea so that it is usable product. You can think of a washing machine that we need that you need a machine to wash clothes, but how to design it right so that it's very easy to use, it has the right set of controls which are intuitive, even it is idiot proof, anybody can use it, so that becomes extremely important. So I have seen that people have wonderful idea, but they cannot package it right. They cannot, they have a good brain, but if you can't package in a good body, you just cannot sell it. So building good interfaces, this is a big area right now is human-computer interaction, that how humans should interact with the machines so that we solve a business problem in the right way. So again, this is very important, and I have seen companies, they have big IT department, but they don't have anybody who's good in graphic design. So they're building systems which people hate using it. They have a need, they have a good idea, but the packaging is not right. So we realized the need for packaging, and we developed a pretty decent sized graphic design team. We have now a 3-person graphic design team full-time, helping us in designing very intuitive graphical interfaces, and we have opening for 2 more. So very soon we will have a 5-person team just focusing on graphic design aspect of it, and even some very large IT companies don't have any graphic designer. But people tell me as well that your interfaces are one of the best I have seen. So first you have to come with a key idea, what to build, and then you have to have a right packaging, right interfaces, right system, and then you have to go and sell it. An area where we did not pay much emphasis, but we think emphasis is needed, is about the sales and marketing. Technology companies, especially technology technocrats like myself, don't realize the importance of sales and marketing, but it is extremely important. A great product without sales and marketing will go nowhere, but even a mediocre product with a great sales and marketing can be extremely successful. So selling is very important. You have to find the right salesperson, develop the right marketing material. An area where there is room for improvement for us, we have not been very successful in recruiting a salesperson in our company, but marketing department we have building. So now we have a very decent sized marketing department, and we have built all kind of goodies. The video you have seen a few minutes ago, that was built, designed, and conceptualized and executed by our team internally. So we have the capability to build videos as well. So now we recently came up with all this card, this kind of a T-shirt. Now we have Optim shirts everywhere. So now we are basically promoting the Optim brand wherever we go. So once you do the sales and marketing, you have found a client, and then hold on to clients. That's very important. So never let go of a client. If you lose a client, you don't lose 1 client, you lose 10 clients. So that's our rule. Because if you lose a client, then that client would have given you projects in future, you lost them as well. And also by reference, you lost some new clients which would have come to you through good reference, but in this case, if you lose one, then you may lose clients because of poor reference as well. So it's very important that you care for your clients, that think the way they think, not only think from your perspective, think from their perspective. You should do the role reversal. Role reversal is very important. I have found that somehow we all think from our perspective, but we never think from other perspective. And that's something I remind to my team member again and again, that I give a family example. I was working on a project, and I said that suppose there's a glass which is half full. So when I talk to our team member, they would say the glass is half full, always emphasizing the things we have done, but not emphasizing that they have not done. When you go to the client, they say that the glass is half full, and always things which you did not do right, they were actually complaining about that. So I found a big disconnect, what my team member was saying and what our clients were saying. So I had to actually bridge the gap between the two. I had to tell my colleagues that think the way our clients think. Don't think about what you have accomplished. Think about what you have not accomplished, because your clients are going to basically start beating you on that. So it's very important that we think the way clients think, always staying in touch with them, talking to them, visiting them, learning what their expectations are, whether we are meeting or not meeting. If you are not meeting, what we should do. I would say that the biggest, as I have gone from academic world to the industry world, it has been a great learning for me. And the greatest learning has been that I had the ability to work with the client. Now I often spend time with the CIOs, vice presidents, sometimes the presidents. I go for dinner with them, and it's a great opportunity for me to spend time with them and learn how do they think, what challenges they are facing. So that, and this learning which you acquire from them helps us determine what the market need is and how to meet this need in the right way. So I would say that working with client is a great opportunity, and whenever we should get the opportunity, we should not lose it, and use that opportunity as a learning exercise for you, and use that learning to build better products and services. And hard work, there is no substitute for hard work, and starting a company is not a piece of cake. You have to work extremely hard. You cannot do it by 40 hours a week. Be willing to spend 60, 70, 80 hours week after week. And also you have to stay focused. Often people have tendency to do too many things, especially those who are very creative. They're getting very fertile brains, they get lots of ideas, they get a new idea a day, but you just cannot pursue a new idea and make it successful. I give the example that if you dig 2 feet at 10 places, you won't get water. You have to dig 20 feet at one place, you will get water. So it's very important that you find a good idea and then take it all the way, and then you will be successful. Once that idea has taken to its fruition, then you can pursue second idea. But if you pursue too many ideas at the same time and make half-hearted effort in each, because the time and effort is limited, then you will not be successful. So it's very important. Stay focused and work hard and diligent, patiently, and success will come to you. I would say that the most important thing in a company would be the team members. You cannot build a great company by one person cannot build a great company, because you just need too many ideas. You need too much of brain power is needed, and one person just cannot provide that. So it is very important that you hire a good set of people and mentor them, empower them, and incentivize them. And so instead of one person guiding everybody, there should be people guiding themselves. You should provide the high-level guidelines, have a right structure in place, right motivation, incentive structure, sense of ownership, and let them do their job. So empowering your team members to do good things is the most important thing. So hiring the right person and also enabling them to do good things on their own is very important for a company to grow and flourish with time. And when we hire any team member, I tell them that I'm not hiring employees, I am hiring owners and I'm hiring entrepreneurs. And because you will be the owner of the company, the company is 100% employee owned, and we give stocks to almost every team member. Each year, depending upon the company's profitability, we actually give out stock to everybody. So I'll tell them, as the company grows, you will grow as well. As the company prospers, you will prosper as well. So the company is 100% employee owned, we have the flexibility to do it. And since nobody dictates us the term, we run the company in a very democratic manner. We have a steering committee of our key team member. We don't have any board. We tried that, didn't work out very well. So we are just our key team members sit across the table, take decisions. We have staff lunches. In staff lunches, we run across the ideas, and by the majority, we take decisions and move on. It's very important that you have a very good team spirit, family spirit. We say that we are not an Optim company, we are the Optim family. So developing a very good spirit among ourselves, people, since we have quite a bit of international crowd, people have left their countries to come here, and our company is the only family for them. So they hang out together, we spend time together, we have a team lunch every week, spend 1 hour, we invite our invited speakers who give talks at such lunch series. We have a family outing every quarter. We have, whenever we complete a phase in a project, we will have an appreciation dinner. Today we have appreciation dinner. We are inviting all team members and their families. We'll have 35 people. We're going to have dinner together and thank everybody for their hard work in the last few months. And every year we will have a weekend retreat where all the team members and their families can go spend time together. For example, just last month we went to Naples. Our team, all the families, we spent a weekend together at Ritz-Carlton in Naples. And one of my favorite saying, I come from India, And in India, there is a saying which translates it to English as that a food that is shared tastes sweeter. So I tell everybody that's our spirit. Let us create wealth together and let us share it together, share our food with everybody and do good things for this society and rejoice doing it. So do good things, be good and do good, create wealth and share it in a fair and reasonable manner in proportion to the in the manner you help create it. So I tell everybody that any new product starts, I say that now you are the owner of it, make it very successful, and you'll be given ownership of the company in proportion to the value you help create. So that way people are motivated, they're incentivized, they feel this is their company, and that's what it's all about. It is everybody's company. Yes.
Your client list is impressive, and a lot of them are large companies. How do you deal with those companies that have large organizations? They're paying a lot of money to people doing exactly what you're going to improve for them, and you run into a wall of resistance that you are a threat to them, and how do you deal with that?
Yes, we are working with companies which have similar departments in themselves. Like companies have several thousand IT employees in the company, but they don't have the skill set we have. So we tell them that we are not replacing your internal department, but we are augmenting it. We are a super specialty, and we don't want to replace you, but we want to bring some additional skill set that does not exist in your company. So, but still there are times where internal department get threatened and they want to block our way. But business whom we work more closely, we develop a very good relationship with the business because of solving a business, we are meeting a business need and solving a business problem. So whenever situations like this happen, then we tell our business partner to go and face those departments which are being threatened, and it happens quite often, but we have been able to overcome that because we create something of a significant business value, and ultimately business is what the companies are for. If they see $100 million a year benefit coming from our effort, and if there are some people who complain about it, bitch about it, they say, this is tangible, something we cannot let go. So they actually fight for us. Yes, but that's a very real challenge we have faced, but we have been able to overcome almost every time.
Yeah, you said you try to maintain ownership of your IP, but I'm curious, if you're working for one company and you're developing a product for them, more than likely it provides them with a competitive edge that they don't want their competitors to also have. So is that a problem in maintaining rights, and do you have clients who say, this is great, but now you know so much about our company, we don't want you to go work for our competitors, and then you basically get conflicted out of working out of some of the industry?
Yes. As I mentioned that, excellent question. As I mentioned that you are a company which are starting with a project, generating IP and profit stream and turning that into product. So it is very well possible that a project which is being funded by a company can be used against that company by going to its competition. This is a fear, and that's a concern we receive almost every time, but we say that this is the way we are going to work with you. We tell them that you are talking to us because you are bringing a lot of intellectual property which are acquired in previous project. So if we have been giving away those IP to clients, we would have nothing to share with you and you would not be talking to us. So you are benefiting from the generosity of someone we worked with in the past, and since we retain the IP, you are going to benefit from them. And similarly, we'll take IP from you, add on to it, and we'll go and sell and go to license to others as well. Others are going to benefit from your generosity. So, yes, yes, yeah, yes, yes. And our clients have said that that you have to give us some. So, this is a battle you have to fight every time for a large project. But we say that this is something we have been doing it for the last 15 years, and this is something we just cannot compromise on. And and many times they don't have a choice, because we are the only one who can solve these problems and nobody else can. There's not much of a competition. They would say, okay, you have it, but give us some head start. This means that you would not work with certain competition of us for a period. Sometimes we try to keep it about a year, but sometimes we make it 2 years as well. So that way they get 1 or 2 years of head start, but we always keep the IP with us.
I really like the human resources philosophy that you have, and I've watched a lot of these presentations, and very seldom do I see somebody spend as much time talking about their philosophy about the people. Is this something that you kind of write that yourself, or do you have other companies that you admired and maybe fashioned your own style after?
I would say that this is something I've discovered. I generally don't read books. I generally I write them. I don't get time to read them, and I don't have the patience to read them as well. See, the kind of work we do is intellectually very difficult. The kind of problems you solve have not been solved before. It is not something routine and monotonous. It requires people to have the passion for. And unless you give them the sense of ownership and really make them the owner, they are not passionate about it. And then you will be like our clients. Our clients have employees, lots of employees, but they are unable to create it, and we are able to create it. We are able to create it because you have to hire a right skill set and incentivize them, motivate them, and create a passion in them. Then they would be able to solve such problems, because they are extremely complex, mathematically complex problems. So you have to, it's not that it's a matter of time you solve this problem. It's not a simple IT problem. It's just like a Google search engine. Google has developed a very specialized algorithm which Yahoo, Microsoft, etc., they are unable to replicate. So we are solving problems of that scale, and that will come only when people get passionate about it. So you have to create that passion. Create the passion when you treat them like equal, sense of ownership. Say it's your company, your baby, make it successful, and share the wealth.
You're like the poster child of HR.
So along the same lines then, as you discovered this yourself and didn't find outside advice on it, in effect you're getting your investors or your employees versus outside investors. So how does your analysis work, or what is your thinking about how much of your company is best to give to an investor? In this case, how much of your company is best to give to your employees? I'm not asking what percentage that is, I'm just saying, how did you come about the thinking of how you arrived at that?
Yeah, that's a secret. I don't know what to disclose and what not to. You have some internal valuation of the company. Value, so we have stock which we give to team members, and we have some internal valuation. And since the company continues to grow about 50% per year, so that valuation continues to grow. And we expect that to continue for the next 5 years or so. We don't see any problem in that. And however, what is our external valuation? That is a little bit hard to assess, but we do get attempts from every year. I get 2 serious inquiries from very large corporations which have billions of dollars of revenues who try to acquire us. So they gave me some tentative ideas of what we are worth. So we share with our team members.
Tell your team members?
Yeah, I do tell them. It may be different than our, our official valuation. Okay, we have some unofficial valuation as well, and so people know that we are very desirable, and very large corporations are trying to partner with us, having joint venture with us, or trying to acquire us. So they see what we are worth, and we also do profit sharing, that based on each year, depending upon the profit gets divided among our team member. We like to reinvest it, but still it is theirs in the long run, and maybe 5 years down the line, maybe you can do an IPO. So all those options are there, but whatever our team decides collectively in a democratic fashion, we will do so.
So do you have positions available now?
Always. We are always hiring.